Hey everyone, and welcome to call number 3 of our new consultant training seminars for the Pure Romance Southern Romantics team. Tonight we're talking about goal setting, which is one of my favorite things on the planet. Ask my husband, he gets mad because I set too many goals. But that's just kind of how my brain works. So the first thing I want to talk to you guys a little bit tonight are making sure that when you're setting goals, they're SMART. And SMART is actually an acronym. Yay! So SMART stands for specific. So make sure your goal is specific, measurable, all right, achievable, realistic, and time-based. Boom, SMART goals. So specific means, obviously not, I want to do better this year than I did last year. Like, I want to increase my business by 10% this year over last year. Measurable, 10%. You can obviously measure your difference. Achievable, is 10% totally achievable for you to do in your business? Yes, 10% growth year after year is totally doable. Realistic, is it realistic? 10% is totally realistic. 125%, maybe not as realistic. All right. And time-based, set a deadline. I love a deadline. So if you have a goal, don't just be like, well, I want to get to $150,000 in group sales. Set a deadline for it. So you guys know, at least when it comes to our team goals, I've got my chart on the back of the door, and I post the pictures of those on our team page, and we have monthly sales goals and retail and all that kind of fun stuff, and recruiting and team building, and all that's based off of history. So there's a little SMART goals worksheet that I'm going to share with you guys. I'm going to try really hard not to freeze up my computer today. SMART goals. So this is a PDF that you guys will all be able to see. And let me get this where it's not so big. There we go. Cool. So you guys will have access to this. This kind of runs down the SMART goal acronym a little bit more if you need that refresher. I'm huge, again, on visualizing your plan of action. So this is senior consultant with a 45%. That actually needs to be 50. This hasn't been updated since the new requirements went in. Average party sales of $500. So you guys could figure that out with actual a 50% discount. It'd be more money. But then charting it. So month after month, seeing how many parties you're going to have, how many weeks are going to happen, how that money kind of accumulates. So that's just a little bit more about that. Stop share. Come back to me. I think we lost Meredith. I think we fell on the ground. If you guys haven't already, I'd love for you to make sure that you've done your 12-month business plan on the COO. And I'm going to show you where you can find that real quick. Just give me 2 seconds to pull that up. Share screen. So we're very familiar with the COO. If you're not, we need to get on it. But if you come over to here to My Business and scroll all the way down to the bottom where it says My Business Plan, then this is really friggin' cool. Because once you figure out how much you want to pull in every single month, you just need to know how much you want to pull in, either per month or per year, and then what your party average is. If you don't know what your party average is because your brand spanking new, you can check that box and use the corporate party average until you get a couple months worth of data that you can go in and adjust it, and you can generate a plan. And it will literally break it down just like here. And it'll break down which months, how many calls you need to make every single week to book this many parties, to earn that much retail and profit the amount that you wanted to make. So you'll saw like at the top where my goal was to make $2,000 a month. Well, in December, $2,000 a month might not be realistic, but over here in February, I'm gonna make up for it. So I'm still gonna average about $2,000 a month worth of income or profit, but there's going to be months where it's a little slower. So when I have the months that are over, I'm going to bank that extra money and not spend it because I know I'm going to need to cover my butt when we have a slow month. So I love that it tells you literally how many calls every single week I need to make sure I am hitting my friggin' goals. So 168 calls will get me 97 parties for a 55 retail and 24,250 profit. This says my discount's 52. It's really 53, so I'm not sure what that is. So if my discount were 55, it shows me how much extra I could earn per year. That'd be really cool to make that much more money. That's like 4 mortgage payments. That'd be great. And then you can click on, so let's see if I were at that 55%. I don't know if I can, I might have to readjust it. But anyway, once you come up with yours, you want to email a copy of that to yourself and then your sponsor. So Sheila, yours would go to Brittany, and Meredith, yours would go to Jessica. So mine would go to my sponsor. So that way they can help kind of keep you accountable, because a good sponsor is they won't harp on you every week. Oh my God, Sheila, did you make your 14 calls this week? But they'll at least know what you're aiming for. And that way, if you feel that you're stumbling, you can reach out and be like, oh my God, girl, I'm not anywhere where I wanted to be. What can I do? Well, make sure you make those calls, because that's literally picking up the phone. You got to do it. We got to do it in this line of business. So if you haven't already generated your plan on the COO, please make sure you guys take some time. It takes like literally 2 minutes. Go ahead and do it and start thinking about what goals you have for your business, because what do they say? A goal without a deadline is just a wish, or something like that. A lot of people get into this for different reasons, and that might factor into your goals, and that's totally fine. But for you to know what you want out of it, if it's financial, if it's more personal time, to be able to set those goals so you can celebrate when you've achieved them is huge. So keep that in mind. All right, let's put this back over here. And let's see what else we're going to talk about tonight. Okay. So the next handout I'm going to share with you, it's something called the income goal sheet. There's a little tiny something like this in the handbook that you guys have all received from me when you join the team. Hold on, wait a minute. Income goal sheet, there it is. Yay! So this is just in a Word document. This makes you do a little bit of math, but that's okay. Math never hurt anybody. Well, not those basic math anyway. So this is just a month-by-month plan. I like that because, especially as you're brand spanking new, you don't need to be worried about like, well, I want to have this much growth in 3 years and my trajectory, blah, blah, blah. You don't need to worry about that. When you're first starting out, your 3 goals could be like, I want to pay down $500 in credit card debt. I want to book 8 parties over the next 2 months. I want to meet 5 new women a day. Your goals can be super easy, but writing them down and posting them somewhere where you're going to see them every day is super duper important. It helps hold you accountable. So write them down. We're huge on sharing our goals within the team. We've got different workshops throughout the year where we talk about things like that. We'll be talking a lot about it at the retreat this weekend if you're able to make it. And then this is just a little breakdown that shows you. So using my numbers that I was talking about earlier. So if you want to make $2,000 a month with your Pure Romance income, here's literally the breakdown. If you're at 40% because you're just a consultant, then you would need $5,000 in retail sales every single month to profit $2,000. If your average sales are $400, that means that you need to have 13 to 15 parties a month. That's crazy, all right? I don't want to do 13 to 15 parties a month. So let's just kind of look at it if we did something different. If we wanted to, let's say we wanted to stick with 2,000, an easier way to make that is to get a promotion. So that's the me plus 3 bump up to 50. So if you, hold on, number 1 divided by 2. So then your total sales would be $4,000, and then you're looking at maybe 10 parties a month, which is a little bit more attainable. But here's the other thing you can do to get that goal, make it easier. Increase your party sales, all right? So right now your party average sales right here, say they're $400. Bump it up. You need to learn about cross-selling, upselling, experience selling. Get your party averages up. So let's say that $4,000 with your 50% buying discount, now that you got the promotion, let's say that your party average is $600. So we're going to divide that by 6. Now you're looking at just a shy of 7 parties. So that's twice a week. Go ahead and book one more party just in case you have a cancellation. 8 parties a week to earn that $2,000, or 8 parties a month to earn that $2,000 is a whole lot better than working 13 to 15 parties at $400 a pop, just earning about $200, $160 each night. Go ahead and earn more money. Work smarter, not harder. Does that make sense? You guys can just nod your heads. I'm kind of a nerd when it comes to mathy stuff, so all of this seems real easy to me, but I realize it's not for everybody. But again, I'm like the spreadsheet queen. So if you have set that goal, how many more parties do you need to hold in order to reach that goal from now into the next meeting, which is when you check in or let your sponsor know or any of that kind of fun stuff. And then challenge yourself, how am I going to get those parties? How many calls do you need to make every single week? This is a big one. Have I truly been asking everyone at my party if they're interested in holding a party? And there is a great, let me find it. This is on the COO for you to download, and it says, if I don't ask, you get a prize. The first one is host a party with me. The second one is join my team. The first one is give me a referral. So have this sitting in your ordering room, and the minute you have to give away a vibrator or a bullet because you forgot to ask if they wanted a party, you will never do that again. So ask everybody. Don't prejudge anyone. The worst they can tell you is no. So ask everybody at the party if they want to host their own party. You'd be surprised. Even the girls that are like, well, yeah, but all my friends are here, so I don't really know who I'd invite. You're going to invite all these girls because they couldn't afford to buy everything that they wanted. When's the next time you guys get paid? Let's book a party. Have you been following up and making phone calls after your parties? Ask these girls if they need any last minute additions. Did they go home and regret not buying something? Because it happens all the time. Make sure they're happy with the products. Did you forget to sell her a toy cleaner? You might want to call and be like, girl, I can't believe I forgot to ask you if you need a toy cleaner. You just bought that main attraction. I want to make sure it lasts forever. Let me go ahead and throw a toy cleaner at you. I'll take 10% off. You just sold something else. You might lose a $1.60, but you just made another sale, so that's good. What are 2 things that you can do to increase your business right now? Again, these are questions that you have to get in the habit of asking yourself, because in this line of work, you have to hold yourself accountable. You don't have a boss, which is nice because no one's going to like boss you around or tell you when to show up. But if you want to succeed and you want to keep growing your business and you want to stay in business, you have to get used to holding yourself accountable. When I realized that my money wasn't where I wanted it to be, and I wasn't saving as much as I thought, or I wasn't earning as much as I thought, and I definitely wasn't booking as many parties as I wanted to, asking myself questions like this, hey Christy, asking myself questions like this, like, have I asked everybody if they want a party? How can I get my party sales up? So even just learning how to cross-sell and experience sell helped me make more money, and now I do it all the time. And following up, the fortune, y'all, the fortune is in the follow-up. I have all these business cards. These are the customer connection cards. These are just this month's. But making sure I'm following up with all these women to make sure they're happy with their products, because the worst thing that could happen, you guys, is they go home and they got a lemon, they got a dud, and they're too nice to call you. And so when they're sitting there like, I just dropped $40 on this C-ring that doesn't work. Pure Romance left a bad taste in my mouth. Not like a good way, but like a bad way. No, you want them to always think of you with a smile on their face, because even if they got a dud, you replaced it right away because you called and checked on it. So follow up with your customers, especially your big spenders. People who drop a lot of money, they deserve a phone call. They deserve a handwritten thank you note. Your hostesses too. And then making sure you follow up with them on big occasions. If you're doing a bridal shower, I mean, figure out when she's getting married and send her a congratulations card. You can go ahead and have a stack of those in your desk ready to go, and then just put them in a pile to be mailed like the week after her wedding. I think ideas like that are friggin' brilliant, and I need to get better at them. So again, do as I say, not as I do. I do have a stack of note cards over here, so when I see things happen on my customers' Facebook, I pop a note in the mail. You just graduated? Awesome. Congratulations. It's not always a sale. It's not always, here's 20% off. It's, I'm so proud of you. You guys worked so hard for this. Congratulations on your wedding. Congratulations on your pregnancy. Congratulations on your baby. Hey, great job. You got divorced. Yay. You know, if there's big news, I want them to know that I care. So the fortune truly is in the follow-up. All that to say, follow up with your customers. All right. I know that sounds crazy when it comes to goal setting, but that's what's going to get you the return business and more money in your pocket. So let's talk about goals versus wishful thinking, which just happens to be another handout. So let me figure out what that's going to be. I think it's another PDF. There's only 3 handouts this class. Hooray! Here we go. This is just a little bit more about goal setting. A lot of these handouts might be redundant, but if you're anything like me, redundancy is key because the more you hear it, the more it's going to stick. I will go to the same damn class 5 trainings in a row like I did in January and get something different every single time, because if I'm too busy writing notes the first time, I'll hear it the second time. So this is just a little bit more about distinguishing between goals and just pipe dreams that you know are never going to happen. And again, being realistic with yourself. You can make those pipe dreams a reality, but it's going to take some work and effort on your part. So this is one of my favorites. I don't know if you guys can see me highlight things. Can you see me highlight things? Cool. God, I love Zoom. So it says the most successful people who are truly content and satisfied with their lives are the ones who continuously set goals for themselves while taking humble pride in the accomplishments they've had. Never looking in the rear view mirror, always the windshield. There's a reason why the rear view mirror is this big and the windshield's like this big. So we got to keep an eye on where we're going and celebrate where we've come from. Because it's amazing. It's amazing to think that in 5 years, this team, like what this team has done, is just freaking crazy. But I love it, and we're celebrating every single achievement we hit. So this again lays out the SMART goal setting, the little acronym for you, and then specifying who. This gets a little bit more into it: who, what, when, where, why, which. So you can literally be specific. And I would encourage you, especially with some of your bigger goals that seem a little out there, even if they're long-term, like 3 to 5 year goals, break it down. Bite-sized chunks, you guys. Bite-sized chunks. Measurable, attainable, realistic, and time. Where's the time? What, is it in there? Time. Maybe it's way down here. Maybe not. Maybe they left out time. Time must be measurable. I guess they didn't indent it. There it is. I found it. So, boom. There it is. Timely. Yeah. I'm glad I didn't write this document, or else that would drive me friggin' crazy. I wish I had. Maybe I'll just copy and paste it and do it over again, because you guys know I'm a little anal retentive when it comes to stuff like that. Boom. All right. This is a good way to break it down. So what are your lifetime goals, dreams? What are your goals for the next 3 to 5 years? What are your goals you've set out to do this year? What's your goal for the next 30 days? What are your goals for the next 24 hours? Yeah, like a little to-do list. And then 5 positive affirmations. Yes, please. Everybody needs to be doing affirmations. How you desire your life to be. It helps retrain your brain into positive thinking. It helps break old habits that aren't helping you move forward. I love stuff like this. And when I lived alone, I used to get dry erase markers and write things like this on my mirror when I would get ready in the morning. So when I'm putting on my makeup, all I'm seeing is how awesome I'm about to be. And it's really good. It was really good, especially when I was hitting some low points in my personal life, or I didn't feel like I was ever going to get more than $25,000 a year. And I was never going to pay down credit card debt, and I was never going to have like my bucket list fulfilled. So it's nice to see all those things that are coming to reality now, because I work real hard for it. So I'll make sure you guys get access to those handouts, but we're going to continue talking about goal setting. So breaking it down for what you want to do now, 30 days from now, a couple months from now, a year from now, 3 to 5 years from now, 20 years from now, is awesome, but then we need to come up with a plan. So how are we going to achieve those goals? One of the things that we do as a team every January is we create dream boards for the year, and that's just craft night. Yay! So we will get together with magazines and poster board and glue sticks and childproof scissors, and we just sit and we make dream boards. So I'd encourage you, if you haven't already, to make a dream board, and it can be personal, it can be professional, just a visualization of what you want to achieve this year. I have all 4 of them hanging up over there in my office for the past 4 years. And it's really kind of interesting to see what's similar year after year. I mean, I think the beach is on there every single year. And I'm not that beachy of a person, but I know my husband likes the beach. So planning a beach vacation is important to him. So I want to make sure that I can contribute to that. There's been a lot of landscaping on the board, like flowers and yards, because that's something that I would really like to have a nice yard, but I do not have a green thumb. So spending a little extra time learning how to be a better gardener, or being able to afford a gardener, things like that. And then I put a lot of affirmative statements on there. So power words, inspiration words, things that are eye-catching that I'm like, yes, that's what I want. I want to have a good day. I want to be really gosh darn good. So just, it's a little collage, it's a little decoupage. It's nothing fancy, and it's only for you. No one else has to see it unless you want to share it with the world. But just so you can look at it every day and remember your why. Why did you get into this business? Why are you getting started? What's going to keep you going when you have a slow month? Or what's going to happen what's going to keep you going when you get like 10 no's in a row and it's really disheartening? So just something that you know what you're working towards. If you had, I should probably put a picture of my dog up there, because I want my dog to always be happy and get plenty of treats. So she should be on my dream board. If you got kids, you might want to put your kids on the dream board if you like them. Something that we did last fall that we haven't really done as an organized team thing again, but I encourage everyone to do it, is make a wine bottle savings. So I will show you one real quick. Now again, some people get super crafty. I can cut up magazines like a champ. So there's some girls that are like, I'm going to paint it with chalkboard paint, and then I'm going to make a tally, and then I'm going to use puff paint and little things and glitter. But I can cut up magazines. So this is my wine bottle. I got one of those big wine bottles, not just a skinny wine bottle. I got one of the 2 bottles in one. But it says start simple, and something about your future, embrace change. I thought that was kind of punny since it's a savings jar. So I was excited about that. I know we only have 10 minutes left. What will you do with your savings? And literally my goal, some people use these for national training and world conference to save up. So I highly recommend that. I know one girl who's got 10 wine bottles for everything she's saving for. I just put a lot of my stuff in the bank, and then I just kind of know how much everything is going to cost. And when I hit that big thing, then I can make it rain. But for this, my goal was to save $20 a week. And again, I'm still not quite 100% what I'm going to do with it. I think I'm going to save it for my office. The goal is to build out an office out back, but that may change. So all I know is right now I've got $20 a week since September in this wine bottle. So if you guys break into my house and steal it, I'm going to hunt you down and punch you and steal my money back. But I know it's there if I need it, which is really nice, because there might come a time where I need that money and I might have to dip into it. But it's my goal to not touch it until I feel like I've got enough to, I think my thought process was to build out the office, and then that would pay for a built-in bookcase, because built-ins aren't cheap, and I wanted something where I could display all my products. So that's kind of what I'm thinking I'm saving it for. And heck, if that fills up and I can't squish any more 20s in, then I'll just have to get another wine bottle. Dang, I guess I'm gonna have to drink some more wine. So I would make sure for you, and especially with your business, if there's a bridal show or World Conference or National Training in August, which everybody should try to go to, if there's something that you're gonna need the money for, but it's not something where you can just write a check and cover it, start a savings bottle. I came into my grandfather's bike when he passed, and I was able to go pick it up last summer and bring it back from New York with me, and it needs a lot of work, and I didn't know how much it was going to cost, so I took a picture of it into a bike shop, and I was prepared for multiple thousands of dollars, because I don't know anything about bikes, and they're like, it'll be $500 to buff it, get a new paint job, get new tires, fix all the chains, and make it workable. because it's a bike. I mean, bikes will work forever. But it just needs some love. So I'm sitting here like $500, cool. But, my money's kind of tied up right now. So I'm thinking I'm going to have to drink some more wine and start a new wine bottle so I can save $500. And again, with $20 a week, let's figure out how many weeks that's going to be. Hold on. 500 divided by 20. 25 weeks. So if we divide that by 4 weeks in a month, so that's like 6 months, 6.5 months. But I know that if I want to save more than that, I totally can. But $20 a week, that's something that I wasn't going to miss. I know some girls do $5 bills. Any $5 bill they come across, they throw it in the wine bottle because that's not really an amount you're going to miss. Like $5, you need your ones for the strippers. 20s, you might need a 20 for a tank of gas, but $5 you're going to be okay losing or just putting in savings. It's not losing, it's investing. Other ways to achieve your goals, we talked about announcing them out loud at team meetings, but getting an official accountability buddy, I think is really helpful. So I have an accountability buddy on our larger team, and I know there's a couple girls within the team. You want to kind of pair up with someone who's kind of at your level. You both have the same type of goals and dreams. So especially right now where we've got all these newer consultants coming in, if you find someone that you click with, just set up like a weekly touch base time. So Lindsay and I talk on Thursday afternoons, and we just kind of talk about our business and where we're at and are we close to where we want. But also she's going to be the one that calls me out on my BS. Did you call your people today? Did you call your people this week? And I have to be honest and say, no, I got busy. But we all know that that is just an excuse. So get an accountability buddy. And if you're not quite sure where to start, come to a team meeting and meet some of the sisters. Keep coming in on these Zooms and seeing everybody. And eventually you'll probably find someone who's close to you. Or if there's someone in your area that's similar, even if they're not on our team, you can totally do that. Or if they're even in another industry. If you guys have the same goals and hopes and dreams and you do a lot of the same type of work to get to that point, it'll be good. Anyone that you can announce your goals to is a good thing. I'm huge on sharing goals with the team. So again, let us know if you guys do your 12-month business plan, post it all over the team or the Southern Romantics team page. And then if there's anything like, I want to save this much money to go to national training, or I want to save this much money for a down payment on a house, or, oh my God, I just bought a new car. Anytime you know what your goal is going to be, let us know. And dang it, when you hit that goal, you got to let us know. Don't hit that goal and be like, next. No, you have to celebrate it. So celebrate, celebrate, celebrate. All right, so here's your homework. If you haven't already, I would encourage you to set up a small business checking account to make sure that all your Pure Romance money goes into the same place. And that way you're not, after a big party weekend, like, oh my God, I'm rich, let's go shopping. And then you go to buy your bulk order and ain't no money left. So keeping all that money in a separate account is super important. If you created a savings bottle or a dream board or anything to kind of help you track your goals, if you're a spreadsheet freak like I am, or if you have a chart on the back of the door in your office like I do, I want to see it. Share us all the pictures that you've got. Post them on the team page. Just be like, oh my God, this is how I'm tracking all my crap. Because we want to know. Because the way you track things might inspire someone else to kind of track theirs similarly. And then if you haven't already, complete the 12-month business plan on the COO. So with that, we've got just under 4 minutes left. I'm going to unmute y'all. So if you would like to chat, you are welcome to exit full screen. I don't know. Yeah, so you guys can ask me any questions real quick before it kills us.
Hi.
Hello.
Sorry I missed some of that. I was
Okay,
coming
babe.
home from work and started cooking, and oh my gosh. I still don't have a chair because it's in the living room.
That's okay. What kind of questions you got, girl?
Crap. I don't know. Like, when I heard something about like building a relationship with your guests, I was like, that's actually really interesting. And I went ahead and I finally printed out a paper because I finally learned how to work the printer for the Who Do You Know?
Uh-huh.
And I was like, oh my gosh, like this is really difficult. But I I guess I just follow up with them to start off with because I don't really have that big of a social group.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really awkward. I'm to myself, so.
That's okay. It's part of your charm. Well, good. I'm proud of you for following up. If you start that habit now, it'll definitely pay off in the long run. Yeah. Well, what other questions do you ladies have? Okay. So if there aren't any questions, we'll go ahead and shut this down and you guys can have your night to go watch the rest of Game of Thrones or The Good Wife or whatever you're into. But thank you guys for staying a student. We've got our little team retreat on Saturday here in Greenville if anyone wants to come down or come up or show up for the day, and we will get you guys talking a little bit more about goal setting and letting you know some of the things that are in store for the team this year, because the fast rate we're growing at, we're going to be on and popping. I'm really excited. So keep sharing the love with the kit sale that ends tomorrow, and y'all holler at me if you need me. But thanks so much for a glorious evening. I will post the handouts under the YouTube clip of this. So hopefully that'll happen by tomorrow. Yay! Thanks, y'all. Have a good night.
Thanks.